This Genie take me this shit out the game on some real shit. Look, I'm gonna keep it 100.
On New Year's Eve, just after dark, police say 28-year-old Monique Ba was shot to death in an alley near 13th Avenue in Russell. Family says Ba was an ascending realtor who had dreams of making it big for her daughters. She was all about family, about making her family happy. And Friday, community leaders gathered and said they have had enough.
Whoever you are, you need to turn yourself in. The community will talk. We've had enough. This was the straw that has broken the camel's back. And I'm telling you, if you know anything, you know anyone, tell someone.
That group, called the Safe Streets Coalition, came together to address what they see as the elephant in the community.
I will ask the mayor as well as the governor. You guys have to get out of the comfort range of talking to black folks who look like you or talk like you and talk to some of these people that's behind you here, because these are the people who are dealing with those people who are victims of these crimes on a day-to-day basis, not the people with the fine suits and the good speech and the great degrees.
I've been at city council meetings talking about this for so long. I'm not here to blame the mayor or anybody else. I'm here to say, if we can't name what this problem is, we can't fight this problem.
In our African American culture, for years we have did this. We've pointed the finger. Well, the time has come to turn that finger around this way.
There we go.
The time has come to start talking about what we are continuing to do to each other out here on these streets.
I don't want you to think we don't know what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the ultimate level of racism. You can walk around our community for 9 months and can't find a job, but 9 minutes you find a gun and we ain't even got a gun factory. You can walk around for 9 months, looking for some money to go to college and can't find it. But 9 minutes you can find a dope bag, because that's the conspiracy that's dumped on my people.
If this was that Edina housewife, if this was some white lady, if this was some white family that was now burdened with this would be unacceptable. It's still unacceptable. And we want you to engage now, and we want you to engage meaningfully, and we want you to sustain that engagement. For Monique.
Monique Barr is a 28-year-old who was born and raised on the city's north side of Minneapolis. She is a realtor and started doing realtor business around March of 2018. She loves showing off homes to clients and posting to her Facebook account. This is also a picture of her daughter and her boyfriend Mitchell taking a family picture. Mitchell was an upcoming rapper in North Minneapolis. Cedric Berry had been in communication with Monique. He told her he wanted to see a particular house in the city of Maple Grove, which is 10 miles from the city's north side. He lured Ball to a home in Maple Grove and kidnapped her in a rental U-Haul on December 31st of 2019. Her body was later found that day in an alley on the city's low end of the north side. The police ended up finding Monique on 13th and Russell Avenue. She was shot twice in the torso and once in the face at point blank range. A medical examiner later found that she was unresponsive and her hands were tied. 1 hour before her death, Cedric used her house keys and barged in and started shooting Mitchell. After entering the home, Cedric started shooting Mitchell multiple times. Mitchell then fled upstairs to his children's room, in which he yelled, "Stop shooting, I'm already dead." Cedric then fled their home soon after. As police were dispatched to the home on the city's north side, Mitchell told police a masked man entered their home and started shooting him. "What's weird," he said, "was he had a key and only myself and my girl had one." The officers asked, "Where's your girlfriend?" and he replied, "Out showing a house." As police were taking his statement, shots fired came in on 13th and Russell. Police rushed to the scene to find his girlfriend unresponsive with multiple gunshots in the city's north side. She was rushed to the hospital. Miss Barr receives a mysterious call asking to see one of her homes she has posted online. Monique was puzzled to how the caller received her private cell phone number. At 2:30 p.m., Monique leaves her home on the north side of Minneapolis to show a property to an unknown buyer she has never seen or spoke to prior. Mrs. Barr shows up at the home in Maple Grove, Minnesota. She unlocks the door and waits on the clients to show the property to the potential buyer. The buyer pulls up in a U-Haul with another unknown person and parks the truck backwards towards the garage. The two suspects then proceeds into the residence. Shortly after arriving, surveillance captures Monique tied up and forced into the cargo area of the U-Haul, and then the two suspects pulls off. The suspect then drives to Monique's house and uses her key to enter her home. There, he finds her boyfriend Mitchell and shoots him multiple times and flees the residence, thinking he's dead. The shooter flees the home, and Mitchell calls police and reports the burglary, and he is rushed to the hospital in critical condition. As detectives are questioning Mitchell, ShotSpotters pings a shooting on 13th and Russell, miles away from their home. Police arrive to find Monique Barr with multiple gunshot injuries. Monique is rushed to the hospital on the city's north side and passes away shortly after she is discovered. Detectives traced the U-Haul to a business in Ramsey County. Inside, they found zip ties and faux pink nail press-ons which match one nail found in the home she was kidnapped from. The U-Haul truck led police to two men who admitted they rented the truck for a man named Cedric Berry in exchange for heroin. Police then arrested Cedric Berry in his 2002 Buick Regal. After searching his vehicle, police found 13 pouches of heroin, as well as the same mask he wore when he shot Mitchell. Police state to Cedric Berry he is under arrest for possession of heroin, setting a trap for Mrs. Barr, and assassinating her close range and shooting her boyfriend, in which her two children were there. Berry was also a convicted drug dealer, a convicted murderer from 2002, assault, robbery, and firearms by a convicted violent felon. Detectives got wind that Monique Barr was targeted because of her boyfriend's actions. As tips started to rise in, police started to check into the totality of the tips that were coming in. Detectives state Mitchell, Monique's boyfriend, was recently flaunting money on social media after signing a record deal. He flaunted his money on Instagram, tumbling stacks of 100s in a dryer. Monique's death was linked to a suspected drug rivalry between Mitchell and Cedric. After the arrest of Cedric Berry, Elsa Segura was indicted on luring Monique to the house, posing as a potential buyer over the phone. Elsa was posed under the alias of Lisa Pulaski. Elsa was a former Hennepin County probation officer and survivor of the I-35 bridge collapse. Soon after the murder warrants were filed on Cedric Berry and Elsa Segura, Barry Davis was also charged for his take in the murder and kidnapping. Cedric Berry and his friend Barry Davis are both now being charged with the kidnapping and first-degree murder of a 28-year-old realtor, Monique Barr. According to the complaints, the men worked with Elsa Segura, who called Barr on New Year's Eve and set up a fake showing of a home she was selling in Maple Grove. Where the afternoon, Barr was abducted by Davis and Berry in a U-Haul. A U-Haul was later seen outside of Barr's home in North Minneapolis, where, according to complaints, a masked man used her key to enter, and then shot her boyfriend multiple times with the 3-year-old child on the couch and their 1-year-old child sleeping upstairs. An hour later, Ball was shot and killed in this alley about a 5-minute drive from her home. On her wrist was duct tape which had the fingerprints of Cedric Berry. Berry was also found on video surveillance buying the phone that was used to set up the fake house showing. And in his car, investigators found a black colored mask. When police arrested Cedric Berry in January, warrants say Barrett Davis was in the area and fled when he saw police officers, and a search of his car revealed a new set of two-way radios.
Monique didn't have to die the way she did. She didn't have to die at all. She was with the wrong person at the wrong time, I believe.
Michael Williams says he believes that person was her niece's boyfriend, who was shot and wounded nearby just before her murder. Newly released search warrants filed by Minneapolis police say that Ba's boyfriend told police the only person he could see doing this was a former friend who he had a falling out with about a record deal.
I don't know anything about him. All I know is that my Monique lost her life because of somebody else's decisions in life, and I guess that's the most frustrating part of it.
Search warrants say investigators also received information from 2 confidential informants that the friend had put a hit on Ba's boyfriend, but why she was also targeted remains a mystery.
Justice will be served.
Police have already arrested and charged these 3 and 1 other person in connection with the crimes, but the alleged hitman and the person who allegedly put it all into motion have yet to be charged.
Well, they're going from the outside in. They're gonna get to the mastermind of it. It's just a matter of time.
And he says only then can justice really come.
I won't be happy until a judge hits that gavel and give every last person involved a life sentence.
I mean, to even think about my niece, 28, thrown in an alley like a dog. She wasn't a dog.
Around that same time, a masked gunman apparently used her house key to enter her home on Humboldt Avenue North and shot her boyfriend while the couple's young children were close by.
A lot of people say, why do you continue to live in North Minneapolis? And I say, because this is the world we live in. And as soon as you divorce yourself of that, it's like you don't see it anymore and it doesn't matter to you. And while I'm here, you know, there are little kids that I want to affect, and I